tonight, health authorities attribute rise in dengue cases to public ignorance. Local Chinese communities celebrate Cultural Day. And regional experts meet to end illegal fishing in Pacific waters. Good evening. The alarming number of confirmed cases of dengue fever nationwide is now seriously worrying authorities. Minister for Health Dr. Neil Sharma is urging the public to take seriously the advisories and warnings on the dangers of dengue fever issued by them. Dr. Sharma says that people must realize that dengue fever is serious and can lead to death. Over the last 3 months, well over 2,000 dengue cases have been recorded. And in response to the increasing numbers, Dr. Neil Sharma says this shows there is a serious lack of attention to warnings by health authorities. The minister stressed that the public cannot be complacent when it comes to an illness that can so easily be controlled through taking proactive measures around the house and preventing mosquitoes from breeding. The Health Ministry have not confirmed the number of people who have died as a result of dengue fever. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry, together with a non-government organisation, are working together to help those who were affected by Cyclone Ian in Tonga. The Sea Mercy Emergency Response Fleet, or SMERF, has been helping out in the island kingdom in transporting medical supplies and treating those that need medical help in the aftermath of Tropical Cyclone Ian over the past weeks. Today, thanks to an agreement with the Fijian government, medical supplies were loaded at the Vunda Marina, where this catamaran will ship the goods to Tonga.
The ministry has identified some of our excess medicines and pharmaceutical products worth close to more than $200,000, which we would like to donate to Tonga for the health service needs. Natural disasters do trigger outbreak of diseases, and it is our hope that this little donation will assist the Health Department of Tonga.
The boat will leave for Tonga today, with the medical supplies to be handed to Tongan medical authorities for use.
These medical goods will be shipped to Tonga in 2 yachts operated by Sea Mercy, who also responded generously to our request to operate the Sea Mercy floating medical clinic again in Tonga for the next couple of weeks, this time to help out the people affected by the disaster. As you have probably heard, Hurricane Ian was the strongest recorded hurricane to hit Tonga in over 5 decades.
Suva's Ratusukuna Park was a hive of activities this morning as people gathered to celebrate the China Cultural Day. This is part of the Chinese Embassy's Spring Festival celebrations and was an opportunity for Fijians to learn more about the unique Chinese culture. The cultural exchange event also showcased the Fijian way of life to those who attended.
We want to use this forum to pursue the people-to-people contact and let the local people know the little bit of Chinese culture, and also we want the local Chinese people and the Chinese tourists to know more about Fiji.
Pacific Island countries are now taking a stronger stand to save their fish stocks by putting an end to illegal fishing. Stakeholders from around the region are now meeting to address illegal fishing and to map out ways to save marine resources within their exclusive economic zones.
The issue of illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing was discussed last night at the University of the South Pacific. Speaking at the lecture was an expert on the issue. Professor Edison said this type of fishing affects everyone, especially Pacific Island countries that have limited resources to combat such illegal activities.
There's a huge problem on the oceans, particularly on the high seas, because vessels are coming along with flags of convenience. They're engaging in what we can call bad fishing practices. They're not complying with conservation measures, and then if their country becomes a member of an organization, they tend to change flag.
However, there are a number of agreements in place done to tackle this problem.
Been the International Plan of Action by FAO on EIEU fishing, which has had some success, but it's voluntary. More recently, there's been a binding agreement on port measures, which will have some effect. And then there's been some guidelines on flag state performance, which will help to determine which countries are running their flags well or not. And that will help, I think, bring it under control.
The depleting fish stock in the Pacific waters have been attributed to foreign vessels fishing inside our EEZ. Some options, such as more vessels patrolling the EEZ and putting in place strict monitoring mechanisms were discussed as ways to sustain our fishing industries. However, Professor Edison says Pacific Island countries have taken a leading role to combat IUU.
Because the fisheries are so important to the Pacific Islands, they have been way ahead of most other countries and regions in developing regional mechanisms for cooperation. The Niue Treaty on Cooperation is one, there are several others. It is actually, I think, probably the best region in the world in terms of regional cooperation.
Relevant stakeholders are now working together to address this issue once and for all. Reviver for all, Fiji One News.
The 126-year-old Marist Brothers Primary School has signed an agreement with the Marist Asia Pacific Solidarity, or MAPS organization. MAPS is an Australian-based charity group which operates in at least 15 countries. The head of the organization, Brother Alan Sherry, is in the country to assess how it can help refurbish the historic school, which was established in 1888 by the Marist Brothers. The agreement signed is for 3 years and will coordinate funding and assistance from 4 alumni organizations to help upgrade the 126-year-old school, one of the oldest in the country. This coincides with the donation of 20,000 Australian dollars to Marist Brothers High School.
Thank you again, Brother Alan, for being here and for helping us out in the big work that's here in front of us.
It's expected that this will be a very large project, and it will take considerable time to renovate the roofing, the classrooms, and some of the structures. It's a privilege for the Australian Marist Brothers to be invited by the groups in Fiji to work with you. We want to respect the way that you do your processes here for decision making. We are guests, but we promise to work hard in partnership with you.
One of the country's largest retail chains last night unveiled their latest customer cards. Carpenters Finance last night launched its new MoneyLink card, aimed at making the retail experience of its many customers a little more convenient. Also on hand to mark the occasion was Carpenters head Dr. Sri Morgan, along with his senior executives. Carpenters says that with more and more customers now relying on faster and more convenient cards for payments of goods, this new product aims to do exactly that.
This card offers customers credit and they can use the card anywhere in the group except for carpenter shipping, and the beauty about the card is you can pay 10% of the balance at the end of each month.
Coming up in sports, Athletics Fiji prepares for Youth Olympics.